Hello, my name is Lewis, and I want to discuss A Moveable Feast by none other than Ernest Hemingway. A Moveable Feast, a classic in American literature, written in 1959, 2 years before he tragically committed suicide. Now, I have some points to make, and then I'm going to read a poem that I wrote after reading one of the sections called The People of the Seine, which is the Seine River, right? As we know, Hemingway comes from the lost generation that was American expatriate writers in Paris. Hemingway, Gertrude Stein, F. Scott Fitzgerald, Dos Passos, and others, right? It was a very creative group that made its mark in literature. So, some points that I wanted to make is reading this, it has a special effect on you. It changes your mood. It's like a seance, and it transports you to 1920s Paris. This is, of course, the book that Woody Allen bases his movie on, Midnight in Paris, a great movie which I highly recommend. Some of the especially evocative chapters that I've read so far, I'm like only halfway through. People of the Seine is a marvelous evocation of the quays and the fishermen. A false spring, made me cry in the last chapter, as he describes the moonlight touching his wife's face after they make love, and listening to her breathing. Every time I think about it, I cry. And as I said in a previous video, Hemingway's writing instills in me a hunger. Like I said, he wrote this in the last few years of his life when he supposedly was compromised intellectually, and they were giving him these ghastly shock treatments. But I see no evidence of decline. You read the book. Many people have read this book. I don't see how this was a man in decline who did not have his full wits about him. I mean, this is a masterpiece. I am still studying Hemingway and how he can be so evocative. That is the question. What is special about his literature? Because certainly other writers were writing in this short clip style, right? But what makes him so evocative? Kind of like a Kerouac. When you read these writers, Neruda, Lorca, what makes this feeling overcome you, right? This is why they're so well read, because there's a feeling that overcomes you that other writers, more mortal writers, don't have that talent. So anyway, you have his philosophy on only showing the tip of the iceberg, meaning omitting details and letting the reader create them in his mind, right? That's very important. There's always this idea of write about what you know, show, don't tell, and then, making things true. That's write about what you know, making things true, credible. And then he's well known for writing in clear, clipped, declarative sentences. But as I said, there were other writers doing that. So it's way before him. So it's not really, that's not what makes him special. In Woody Allen's movie, Woody hysterically lampoons Hemingway and turns him into a kind of like slow, stern, matter-of-fact robot. But that's just a lampoon. I mean, but it makes a point, you know. Hemingway is just giving us the facts and the details. Well, all right. So, as you can see, I'm still, I'm very much firmly ensconced in the Hemingway game, and I am digging the discoveries and making, as I read more, my experience becomes richer and richer. All right, I'm going to read something that I wrote after reading The People of the Seine. Paris market, wine, Seine river, currants black, bookstalls and fish, Voltaire, left bank, chestnut trees huge and spreading, down the staircase to the quay beneath the great bridge, Gouillon fish, fried plump and sweet-fleshed, La pêche miraculeuse. He ate even the bones with white wine. Guy de Maupassant, the people of the river. Friture, bread, sausage, wine. I sit in the sun. Sometimes I read a good book. Watch the fishermen, where the Marne and the Seine meet, two rivers feeding Paris. Sadly, over the years, the thieves stole my fishing poles and a .22 rifle. I hear La Pêche in Spain is good. Good times and slack. That they could make a living at this ancient trade made me happy. Life on the river. Beautiful barges, tugs with smokestacks, belching the smoke of burning wood. Trees along the banks which sometimes I would climb and look out on the city. Elms, poplars. I never felt lonely when spring came. You could smell the warm wind. The night no longer hurt with cold. And suddenly one morning, flower buds appear. The river thaws and flows again. People young at heart are born in spring. So that's what I wrote after reading Hemingway. So Hemingway is kind of like my co-writer. Peace.